comes that time of year. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to PRL. Welcome to round 10 of the 10 round season. This is it. This is the very final race of the season, and it's actually going to be an interesting one because I can't quite believe I'm saying this. We're doing a 2021. The drivers are, I kid you not, tied on points. A perfect tie of points. I'm honestly, when I tell you, amazed. I don't even have to have a sheet up of, if somebody finishes P2, then the other must finish P1 with fastest lap to win. No, whoever finishes above wins. Whoever finishes ahead of who, doesn't matter where they finish, so long as one of them scores more points than the other, they win. The two people in question, Mr Cookie, notorious for his questionable crumbles, but has gotten really strong over the last couple of games, and the star boy himself, Jhawes, a man who absolutely dominated sort of back in 2021. And I mean, now he could be taken off of his throne once more. The qualifying is underway at the moment, but I thought I'd talk you through sort of kind of what we can see so far. So here's the driver's standings. As you see, 186 points. That is the points. Obviously, it's going to be different after the end of it, but does it really matter? They're both on equal points. It's honestly amazing. Mr. Cookie is 186. Thompson 119. Spice Virus 102. Could possibly see a swap around there. I'm not expecting it. I think they're pretty solid in place. But down towards the back of the grid, I mean, I don't even say the back of the grid. I mean the middle of the grid. Look at this. From Cresnot, sorry, no, I'm going to go from Daedric here. I'm going to go from Daedric down to an F1ology. That's a good chunk of people, separated by 5 points. So we could definitely see some really big battles, constructor-wise as well. Ferrari have pretty much sealed up the championship. I think it can still be won by the Mercedes. So it's not confirmed, but it is fairly, Ferrari have got that championship wrapped up. To be honest, there's quite a significant point gap between everybody else now. So I'm definitely going to say that, you know what, team standings aren't really what you want to be looking at today. Of which I don't know how much of that you just didn't hear because apparently I was on mute. Nevertheless, cut back over to the main feed now. We are on PRL. Yeah, we are wonderful. And as of right now, Saratel currently sits top of the standings. Kresnos P2, Exilist P3, and our Henson down in P4. Bit of a drop there between Exilist and our Henson. That's not what we want. We want that one and that one. As of, though, right now, Mr. Cookie has set a time and he's coming back out again. Jhawes, though, is on a time. So, one of the men that could possibly win the championship here today is going for his first flying lap. Mr. Cookie clearly did go for his first flyer. It didn't quite go to plan, and now he's having to go for his second run. But the Ferrari back to its black colour for the final race of the season. So he will be finishing in the same way that he started. livery-wise, that is. Jimmy's sleeping. We called him many times. That's hilarious. Jimmy, wake up. That's poor, man. Poor, I tell you. You should be... oh, he might have passed away. Let's hope it was sleeping. Nevertheless, Jhawes, DRS open, close to the limit, goes round. Can he take provisional pole position? No, he can't. He's very close to the back of Saratel, but it's not quite going to be enough to get pole position. So... needs a win, but if they pick up a win, it means that they're guaranteed to win the title. That's the only way they can guarantee a title win here today, is to pick up a win, and that just makes it so much more interesting, doesn't it? Now, difficult thing is because I have left my PS4 controller in a long and far away place from here, I've lost it, means I have zero audio. So I can't hear if a driver slightly messes up the power throttle, which I should be able to. I mean, my headphones are literally just sat here and I can't use them. So if there is like a slip up, I'm going to have to watch it through like the drivers, through the handling, through how they control and react on the wheel. So do excuse me if I'm not quite as on the ball as I usually am, as Jay Thompson leaves the session for some reason. Mr Cookie goes and sets a purple sector 2 time, and is currently 15 and a bit seconds down, so he's not actually looking to get a strong time in here. He's going to have to close down a bit in sector 3, but there's not an awful lot to lose in sector 3. What can he do? He can put himself P3! Oh, that's interesting. Jhawes and Cookie go side by side after each of their first proper runs. We'll let Cookie off of that poor performance to begin with, as I think most drivers are now around. Every driver has done a lap. Every driver's on the board. 1.5 seconds splitting first and last of 15 drivers, so that's a 10th splitting every driver. That's good going. That's really good going. We got a feisty midfield as well. Jay Thompson to sort of what, F1ology, 0.3 of a second. Damn. You know, we're going to be talking a lot about Jhawes and Cookie here today because, well, you kind of can't not, can you? But that midfield fight, if it does get a bit stale up at the top, I'm certainly going to be tuning into that, because that should be very interesting indeed. That's Mr Cookie just coming into the pit lane. But this is somebody who's putting out a bit of a showstopper at the moment. He's currently leading away from the two drivers looking to pick up the championship. So he's got a bit of a task on his hands to, you know, keep him behind. Can he do it? I've genuinely got no idea, but I'm looking forward to seeing how Saratel gets on. Because in recent results, I've fairly... yeah, Saratel, take last race, he finished P4. No, so that's round 8. Round 9, didn't participate by the looks of it. I'm just going blind. Either way, we've seen Saratel before, and we know that he's a good driver, but right now he's in a dangerous game where he's sitting in front of all the people that want to win the race, in particular. Purple sector 1, 2, and... hang on a minute. Right, sorry. I'm just sat on the Discord chat. Mr Cookie has posted a photograph of him just after he'd finished that lap, which puts him P3. In the top right-hand corner, sector 1, 2, and 3 are all lit up purple. And yet somehow he's finished P3. Don't ask me how that works. I'd like to think it's the purple bit that's going... Saratel's just gone and extended it. Dear God. He's really putting the pressure on these two to, you know, get them in and amongst the pack. One of them can't just run away because Saratel's going to have something to say about it. So, Saratel, if you're watching, right, do me a favour. Back up the pack. Drive slow and don't let anyone pass you. We want this to be interesting. Speaking of interesting, it's been an interesting title fight because it's not been much of a fight, if that makes sense. It's kind of been this situation where you've got two drivers who have barely seen each other on the track, if at all, at any point during the season. I can't remember a time where they fought, and yet somehow they've ended up level on points. I mean, the last time we had a level on points in actual Formula One, the drivers collided 3-4 times. DNF'd each other. Well, no, one of them DNF'd the other. Oh, no, they did DNF each other. Except for one of the instances was like a mixed result. Either way, you had two cars which were just like always going at each other. It just hasn't happened this season. They've sort of just somehow managed to find their way on equal points. It's kind of been an occasion where a race where Jhawes has been strong, Cookie hasn't. The time where Cookie's been strong, Jhawes hasn't. So you kind of just get this point where they're always like 5-6 cars apart, and they, have absolutely nothing to do with each other. But because they alternate and because they've done it for a similar amount, they've ended up on the same points. It's interesting to say the very least. We haven't got much longer of this qualifying, actually. We've only got 5 minutes to go. It's gone by pretty quickly, this quali. Does help that I pretty much started as quali got underway. I do apologise for that. I'd sat down, I had OBS on, I had this, that and the other. I had my PlayStation 5 controller in my hand. I pressed it to turn it on. Where's the beep? Didn't hear the beep. Someone been funny and turned the beep off, but I can't hear the beep. So I look underneath my desk to where my PS5 sits. It's not there. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. Ran upstairs, realised that I'd plugged it into my room whilst I was ill. Sorry, that's why I wasn't here last week. I was so ill. I was dying. And so I think from about Thursday to... what? Monday? Tuesday morning, I still felt quite bad. But for like quite a long period of time, I was unwell. Either way, that's why I wasn't here. I do apologise for it. Pretty much every driver's in the pits at the moment. We're currently watching Excelist, who is on a lap. I think he's the only guy on a lap. Yeah, you've got two drivers coming out at the moment. He's gone and gone purple sector 1 in P6 as of right now. I don't know whether just the purple sector 1s are just having a bit of a nightmare and just not registering to the correct people, or whether he just is that quick through sector 1. I sympathise. I'm also currently dying. Mate, I feel your pain. To be fair, the fact that you're driving, hats off, because all I did was spend it in bed. So fair play to you. Right. Oh, hang on. That's interesting. A certain Mr Cookie is out on an out lap. We'll carry on watching Excellence because he's about to finish a lap. Let's see how he gets on. It's a 106, 107, 108. Oh my God, that was fast. Maybe that was a purple sector 1 then. Jesus Christ. Right, okay. That's just thrown another spanner in the works for Jhawes and Cookie, because now Excellist wanted to join in on the party and screw everyone over a little bit. So this could be interesting. Who knows? Maybe Mr Cookie and Jhawes can fight for the World Championship whilst sat in P8 and P7. It's not like it's going to make any difference to any other positions, is it? Well, Mr Cookie is going rather slowly, is what he's doing. Yeah, he's still got his DRS shut. Oh, right. What's he doing? I think he's going for 2 outlaps. Because I think that's... Oh, no, he didn't do that before, did he? Because he came into the pits, so that can't have possibly been right. He's going for 2 outlaps. He's really, really trying to burn fuel by the looks of it. Like, he's properly going for it in the... revs. That's the word I'm looking for. Additionally, he's just gone and let Jhawes past him, who is currently on an outlap, minute and 28 to go. Has soars through Aston Martin there. I think Hazard who's on a run. He's behind all of these guys, and he's now got to try and get through. Hopefully, they all get through pretty sharpish, but we've got a huge backlog of people here. As Jhawes prepares to get going, he's going to have to go soon. I feel like he's going to have lost a little bit of time out of that corner, but he is going for it. Mr Cookie still trying to just warm up those tyres, break them in a little bit. I mean, they're certainly broken in, I can tell you that for free if you just look at them. Here we go. Hits the left, and that is now Cookie underway as well for a lap. He's still currently not using any ERS though. There it goes. Right. Well, watch Jhawes because he'll be the first man to cross the line. Out of these two, we have 30 seconds of the session remaining. Keep in mind, just in front as well is Jackalacko and I believe Jay Thompson. Indeed, I am correct. Right, we'll watch Jackalacko, see how he gets on for a little bit. He's coming through now. Our Henson as well. Pretty much everybody is on their final lap. So it's important to see how everybody gets on here. So Jackalacko currently down on his time. What about Jay Thompson? He's up on his time, so he could possibly get himself up to sort of PR, get himself sort of maybe even past Jackalacko if he's lucky. Have us cut back to Jhawes though because he's coming through. He's 1.5 tenths quicker. That pretty much secures pole position for him at the moment. But Saratel is the car behind. So Jhawes goes through provisional pole. Saratel, can he improve? Yes, he can. He goes on to provisional pole. Mr. Cookie, the next man through, has invalidated his lap, thus meaning Saratel, pole position, Jhawes, P2, Excelist, P3, Mr. Cookie, P4. And I imagine he'll be a very unhappy Cookie. Hopefully, just hopefully, he doesn't grumble. But there we go. Mr. Cookie with a rare mistake, with an invalidation in his final lap. Forces him down P4. That's not the position he wanted. There has been a bomb in chat. I will not repeat it, but there is a bomb. Mr. Cookie's not happy. I can tell you that for free. I also spoke to them a bit earlier on. I've sent them my best of lucks as I would have had pole but invalidated at turn 2. He had the speed for pole position and it hasn't quite worked. My good God. Right, one other thing I did. Yeah, I spoke to them just before, wished them best of luck and whatnot. But I've said, because obviously they haven't seen themselves on track at all. They've pretty much just always talked through Discord. They're always really lovely to each other. So I said, you two are too nice to each other. I want a damn brawl on the track. And I think we might just have it. I think this is one of the first events where they've been within a driver of each other. So Saratel sits on pole position for Alfa Romeo and Jhawes in P2 for the Ferrari. Exodus P3 and Mr. Cookie P4. Rick P5. Kresnos P6. Jay Thompson P7. Valley P8. Our Henson P9. Jackalacko P10. Hazard P12. Daedric. Hang on. Hazard P11. Daedric P12. Just a Cold Pillow P13. F1ology P14. And Aramalef P15 with 1.661 seconds between first and last. That is a very, very good and close competitive grid. Especially with the added bit of racecraft, we could definitely see what we are seeing. What I'm immediately seeing is clouds. Ooh, I like that. I like that. We like clouds. Clouds are nice. Clouds mean possible rain. If Cookie would have not invalidated, he would have had it by 16 thousandths. But it just makes you think, had he have not invalidated, he might not have gained that tiny bit of time. So, nevertheless, it would have been close. And it would have put a Cookie at an advantage. And he's bottled it. Ish. Puts him at a disadvantage for the race. But, as we are all very well aware, qualifying does not earn you points. The race does. Speaking of, 3, 4, 5 red lights for one last time this season. They are away, and Saratel does not get off to the start that he would have hoped for. Jhawes is going to be able to go down the inside at turn 1. Is he going to be able to make it? No, they are going to still follow through. He's going to have the outside for 2. Saratel inside, and now back to the outside. Mr Cookie having to go across the grass there for a brief moment of time as Jhawes now ever so slightly leads out of the centre S's, and he is indeed in the lead of the race, but Saratel is going to be able to push through on the inside at 4, and he does manage to get himself past the Alfa Romeo, gains it back into a very strong position for him, and it's been an absolute atrocity for Mr Cookie, who currently sits P5. He's lost a position to the McLaren there. Rick moves up to P4. He's going to have to try and gain multiple positions back. He knows the championship sits ahead of him at the moment. Jhawes has to make a very quick reaction time and a very quick change in direction there, and that's a mistake by Saratel, which opens the door for Jhawes to possibly be able to get past, but no, he cannot quite make it. Still following now out of the final corner. Can he get the run on the Alfa Romeo to possibly make that move into turn 1? I think Saratel's just about managed to put himself away enough. Maybe not. They're getting awfully close. In fact, no, absolutely no chance. Jhawes is going to slot it through the inside here. He takes the lead of the race so far, and Saratel has absolutely no hope of getting past there into turn 1. Now through the centre S as we go. Saratel getting very wide. I think Nerves might be slightly getting to him a little bit, because there goes through Excellist into P2 as Jhawes now just has the opportunity to extend his lead as Mr Cookie struggling to get past the grid. Oh, wow, what an absolutely chaotic start we've had so far to this event, and Jhawes puts himself in a really strong position to win this championship as it stands. Whew. Saratel now on the inside, had a little look, has elected not to go for it in the end, as pretty much all of these drivers back to hazard running in tandem. It's basically waiting for a mistake and trying to capitalise on it, as Saratel's just trying to get alternate lines. McLaren as well is trying it really desperately to get himself into a position where he can, you know, defend, get a slightly better exit speed, yada yada. And I think Saratel's going to storm through here. Jhawes as well, notably, is up quite a few positions. Indeed is also Mr Cookie, who is up on a position there, as I think the two in front are going to continue to fight, which possibly could open the door for Mr Cookie to try and go for a move. It's not quite going to be for the moment, as DRS opens for the lot of them. Cookie with an absolutely amazing run out of the centre S's. Can he get the double overtake? He's not going to quite be able to do it. He makes a slight bit of contact with the Alfa Romeo, which spins him round. He's going to lose the 2 places, which he's gained back. He's going to lose another to the Haas. It could have been an absolutely amazing move, but with a slight bit of contact to the Alfa Romeo means that Mr Cookie falls down to P6, and whoa, look at that, the Haas and the McLaren take each other out as Mr Cookie has to make evasive actions, and the championship is slipping away with every indeed moment. Mr Cookie falls to P8 in the race as of right now, and oh dear, Cookie, oh Cookie, what has happened? Slightly in front, Jay Thompson is looking to try and make a move on Excellist. It doesn't quite pull off. And oh no, only 3 laps in, and it looks pretty much all wrapped up and finished. Jhawes has been given a great opportunity to pull away in this race, as Mr Cookie has faced quite simply nothing but hardship. Pardon me. Oh, wow, I am absolutely shocked. It's been an absolute horror show for Cookie. He's done so well. He managed to get past the McLaren. He looked to go for a double overtake. Alfa Romeo just clipping of the wheels, sends his rears back, and it's just an absolute tragedy to see. And then with the Haas and the McLaren getting in a bit of a kerfuffle, you thought it could have been a good opportunity for him to swoop back through, but it's not quite to be. Don't get me wrong, there's 7 seconds to split him and Jhawes at the moment. 7 seconds splits this championship. It's not all over. It can still turn around. It's going to be really difficult, but it's possible. And at the end of the day, possible is all we care about, you know. If there's a chance, there's a chance. I'm happy if there's a chance. As I'm really struggling, as it sounds, with my cough again. Great. Move being made at the back at the moment, as that is Valley getting himself past, I imagine. I think that was around the outside, actually, of Aramalef, but he is going to come back under threat once more, just slightly in front as well. Jay Thompson's managed to get himself past Kresnos out of the exit of the back straight. Nicely made as well. Saratel has also caught up to the back of Jhawes. So maybe a bit of fighting there could close the gap back to Rick. Maybe make it a three-way fight for this race win. I'm not too sure. Saratel will have to try and go for a move at some point. We're on lap 5 of 36. So 25 laps remain. A fifth of the way through. No, sixth of the way through the race. My apologies. We've still got a long way to go as of right now. But as I say, it is pretty much all to go for, as Exodus has an absolute nightmare. What on earth happened to him? I'm not too sure. But that's allowed Cookie, Hazard and F1ology to get themselves through and gain a position. So good on them. That's a little help bonus to try and get them through. Now, Mr Cookie, he seems quite far behind, you know, P6 to P1. Think about it. Kresnos and Jay Thompson are just up ahead. If he can get past those, he's then got quite a bit of a gap between Jay Thompson and Rick, and then quite a bit of a gap between Rick and Saratel. But that means quite a lot of clean air, and the possibility to go for a move is on. Only problem is without DRS, he might be able to struggle to catch up. I'm not too sure. It's really interesting. This is such an interesting fight. Because as of right now, Jhawes looks in a fantastic position. He looks to win this championship right now. At the moment, this is now Jhawes. So I'm just going to turn that up a little bit. This is without a shadow of a doubt Jhawes' championship to lose. It's not going well for him as it stands, but possibly Saratel is going to go for the move here into turn 1. I thought that might just happen. He's gone for it. Great dive bomb. Gets himself into position. Nicely done. And interestingly enough, Kresnos getting himself past Jay Thompson as well. And as Cookie has now caught up. And there we go. Jhawes swoops back through down the back straight. Picks up a P1 once again. Jay Thompson and Kresnos switching places, almost trading. Can the Williams get the better exit off of the left-hand side? No, he can't. Interesting enough, this allows the opportunity for Mr. Cookie to try and get past one of them at least. He does manage it, gets past Thompson nicely after he runs slightly off wide. And a bit of big mistake there by the AlphaTauri. He's somehow managed to keep it in one piece, but that was a huge slide there. That's probably going to do some damage to his tyres, maybe slow him down that bit more. What's happening in the way of tyres as well? That's something we haven't looked at yet, is it? Jhawes, Saratel have gone for the mediums as well as Mr. Cookie, but Kresnos and Rick have gone for the hard choice. So that could be why there's been a little bit of gap between, Rick and Saratel form. Could be because of those medium to hard tyres, as Saratel once again gets himself through at the front line, and Mr. Cookie swoops through, gets the move done before they even hit the braking zone. So that means Mr. Cookie is up to P4. How long it's going to last for, I'm not too sure. That rhyme, that was amazing. Show gaps a leader occasionally, please. Yeah, absolutely no problem. So it's currently 4:10. Saratel has managed to keep hold of it down that back straight, and I think Mr. Cookie has as well. Yes, he has. He's done that pretty decently as well. We've got a caution in sector 3 at the moment. That is the Haas going. Oh, I think it's a Haas in the pits, to be honest. It is the Haas in the pits, but he's DNF'd as well. So that's nothing too major of a concern. That's not going to cause a safety car, and if it does, meltdown. Migrating host. Oh, so Vanny was host. Oh dear. I really hope that doesn't mean F1ology's also left the session. That's not good. I think that's a one-off. For you. For you. I mean, that is, I was thought if everybody was going to start leaving the session then, and we're going to have a data mess up. And there we go. Jhawes swooping. He's going for the outside. And that means he has the inside there at 2. And he gets himself nicely in place for 3. Only problem is with DRS now behind. Saratel is going to be able to swoop through. He's going to have to go to the outside. Is he going to be able to make the move into the turn? No, he's not quite. Little bit of contact made. But Jhawes does indeed concede the position after a hard-fought fight. And look at these two. Saratel inside line as we run up the hill into the tight right-hander. Saratel now holds on to position. Interestingly enough, this has allowed Rick to gain about 0.4 of a second. He's done pretty well there to gain the time that he has. That's now still a considerable gap between Cookie and Rick. He really needs to close that gap down soonish. Maybe if Rick gets involved in the fight, if he can catch up and start getting involved, then maybe that could allow Cookie to catch up, and then all of a sudden it's a championships back on once again. We are, I kid you not, a third of the way through this race already. We've had a third of the race as we now move on to lap... No, we haven't. We'll have a third of the race on lap 12, not lap 9. Yeah, we've had a quarter of the race so far. There we go. My numbers are numbering, apparently, as Mr. Cookie's actually gone and lost the place to Kresnos. Kresnos has managed to get him on the DRS, and Mr. Cookie is going to have to try and take that position back. He won't have to... The one thing Cookie doesn't want to do is lose time fighting, which is why he'll want to be breaking free of Kresnos as much as he physically can. Issue is if he continues to fight like that, he's just not going to be able to catch up to the front runners, and that is just going to allow Jhawes to cruise to the championship victory. I say, what has the driver standings look like over the course of this season? Because Mr. Cookie started in the lead, and then it went to Jhawes, who has not remained at the top. So for round 5, 6, and 7, 8 were all Cookie at the top, and then Jhawes has just managed to get it. So Cookie has sat in front in the championship for the vast majority of this. And now only has Jhawes re-overtaken after losing out on first place in round 5 in Belgium, where Mr. Cookie went to 100 points and Jhawes to 89. He didn't score any that weekend. So this could be an amazing... Yeah, Jhawes needs to get out of the battle, and I think he's kind of almost got into a stroke of luck here, as for some reason Jackalacko now leads. Saratel's left. What's happened? What's happened? Why is Jackalacko in first? I'm confused. When did that happen? There we go. It's all fixed. Great. It's fixed. Good. That's better. Right, so yeah, Jhawes, luckily, pretty much as you said that, Jhawes has gotten out of the battle because Saratel is out of the race. When did that... What? Oh, he left the session, didn't he? Of course he left the session. I think I'm losing it. I'm losing the plot, man. This is something you'll get used to. I do lose the plot. And Saratel fell... No, that's still when they were fighting. What fight's going on at the moment? Kresnos. Saratel's still there. Saratel's still there. Yada, yada, yada. And then he just falls down the grid. For some... Oh my god, he was... Oh! Oh, I've just seen it. We watched it happen. I remember seeing that. I just didn't comment on it. Oh, that was Saratel. Oh my god. Right, okay. So, lap 10, just at the end of lap 10, we see Saratel spinning off on the final corner. That's why he fell to the back of the grid, and that's why he then decided to DNF and leave the session. That makes more sense. I was about to say, I could have sworn, yeah, Alpha spun and retired in pits. My game crashed, so hopefully it doesn't die in the game now. I hope so. Oh my god, Kresnos is really putting the aggression on Cookie here. I mean, Cookie just wants to run. Cookie just wants to catch up. Right now, the one person that's really not letting him is Kresnos, who's just keeping right on the back, you know, putting in a fight every now and then. as Jackalacko for some reason goes back to being first. I don't even know what's happening. F1's doing F1 things. The system we use to record all the data is going to have an absolute nightmare fuel. Just seeing Jackalacko jump to the first and back to the last, then first and then back to the last again. It's going to be quite funny to see that stats. Either way, yeah, so taking it from the interval section, Rick is not gaining on Jhawes. In fact, he's ever so slightly actually losing time to Jhawes. Mr Cookie, pardon me, isn't doing much better. He's consistently losing pretty much equal time as Rick is. So, oh god, this is confusing, man. It's confusing, it's exciting. Everything's important. Everything is important, and it is quite something. As you might be able to see, I'm doing a little bit of stalling. It's not an awful lot going on at the moment, as Jackalacko for some reason goes back to leading this race. Lobby is a bit desynced. It is quite desynced, yeah. I'd say a bit distinct is a little bit of an understatement. Nevertheless, Jhawes, he was 20 seconds from Jackalacko last time, and now he's 13, so he's closing it down. Right, we need some action. Please, someone make a move. Someone do something. We're blaming F1ology because his game crashed. That's the plan, I think. I think that is what we're doing. We are blaming F1ology because the game crashed on him randomly. And I like that plan. So we shall all blame F1ology. Right. Jhawes goes back up to the lead of the race for a couple of corners before he loses it to Jackalacko once again. Mr Cookie actually gained a little bit of time on Rick that lap. Not an awful lot. It's not going to really be enough if he wants to try and take home a championship win. Really, at this point, he needs words. Words, please, words. Safety car, that's it. Oh my god, I'm really struggling today. We need a safety car, desperately. Maybe towards like the second half of the race, not like for like 3 laps, but for a good few, I think. Oh, just, it's a numbers game. It's such a numbers game. I mean, there is, I want to sit here and say like, oh yeah, let's watch a fight. There isn't a car that's a second between each other. There is now one, and we're already currently watching it. And not a lot was happening before. Not a lot's happening now. As there we go, Jhawes. Oh, hang on a minute. Jhawes has gone back up into the lead now. That's new. That hasn't happened yet. Oh no, back to Jackalacko. Great. I hope this doesn't affect. Shouldn't, because it is just whoever finishes first. Oh, don't know. Imperatively, Jhawes has now managed to get past Jackalacko, so I don't think it's all that much of a problem. As there we go, Rick gets himself past Jackalacko, who is last. Don't let it fool you. He's not P3. He's last. just this video game. Just this video game. Don't you worry. It's nothing serious. Right. Please, something happen. Let something happen. I know what I need to do. I need to go and look back at race 8. You can come and listen to it with me if you are so inclined. We need to give it a listen. Hello, yeah, there you go. Now, if I do that, you lose your sound, don't you? Yeah. Right, there you go. I'll unplug that. There you go. Merry Christmas. I want... Yeah, because both drivers said they'd do something if they win the championship. And I can't remember. It was 2 weeks ago. I can't remember what they said. I fancy... Sorry if it's lagging a little bit. I can see that's happening. Actually, no. I'm just going to do it on my phone. I think just to save the frames. Because that didn't look good. I didn't like the look of that. Switch. Oh, no, that's just him getting past Chakalaka. See, that's the difficult thing, though. You're going to see a close delta time, and then it's all going to go wrong. BRL, PRL. Oh, yeah, do tune in next Wednesday for BRL. We got the finale on there. Tomorrow, as well as the PRL Tier 2 final. So we've got a lot going on at the moment. We've got our final races of the season taking place, over the course of the last couple of things. Now, one thing I can't do is speak whilst also listening to myself talk, so I'm gonna have to try and give this a listen. That's just Jhawes chatting. As you can tell, I'm really trying to fill in the space. I'm currently reminiscing over Jhawes' commentating interview. Here it is. Should Cookie do, in your opinion, an undercut? Yes. Good shout. I think it's a good idea. When do they pit? Soon, I'm going to be honest. What, medium tyres? They're still running the mediums 20 laps in. There we go. I remember it. They're shoeying. Whoever wins does a shoey, and I think if Cookie wins, he has to do it with a pizza on his head. So, no need to have put that pizza in the oven, Cookie. Undercut is a shout, to be honest. It's not long until a pit window opens. In fact, if anything, pit window's already open, especially for those medium tyres. They're really running them long. They're running them a long, long time. Would not surprise me in the slightest if Jhawes or Cookie came in this lap, maybe next lap. But I think Cookie going for an undercut is probably a good idea. At this point, he's in a position right now where he's not gaining any time on these tyres. They're pretty much running at fairly even pace. He's not gaining any time. He's not losing any time. He knows that as it stands right now, Jhawes will go across and win the championship because he's got that couple of seconds advantage. So Jhawes stays out. Cookie... Was that Rick coming in? That's Rick coming in. Cookie stays out. So Rick's going for the undercut. The one person we weren't kind of talking about. Rick has decided to undercut. I mean, Rick knows what it's like to go for a championship. He's done it in the past. He came out on the poor end of it. I remember BRL season 3 like it was yesterday. He came out on the back foot against Lifebout. So he knows what it's like. He knows that maybe it's probably best to stay out of the way. If he can get himself in the lead of the race, he'll be more than happy with that. You know, maybe leave those two behind just to scrap it out for the championship. You know, take home a little win, little unnoticed win would be nice for him. But yeah, I say strategy-wise, they're both running the medium tyre. They both are pretty much... It's corner by corner. One corner, Jhawes will be faster in. One corner, Cookie will be faster in. There is no like particular way of saying, oh yeah, this driver is faster. They are honestly even on pace. It's been about 6 seconds for such a long time now. As there we go. Cookie. Oh, and Jhawes in at the very same time. It just decided to not put it. And oh no, Mr. Cookie, 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As Jhawes now leaving the pit lane much earlier, as there goes Cookie on exit, as I think the pit lane is really broken. So we're going to watch Rick and see how he comes out. I think he's just going to come out behind Jhawes. He is going to be able to gain a little bit on Jhawes. About a second he's managed to gain with that undercut. It's not going to be anywhere near enough. Issue is now for Mr. Cookie is he's got drivers in between. He's got Hazard and Daedric Prince in between. He was hoping that he would come out just behind Rick. Well, that's not quite the case. He's quite a long way back, if I'm honest. In fact, he's had an absolute howler. He's really struggling now. He's a long way off of Jhawes. It's going to be difficult for him to get much out of this race, I think. No, that 6.106 is not moving. I feel like this game is slowly but surely deteriorating. Every little thing is slowly breaking. F1ology, you've caused a mess. And there we go. Jhawes getting past Exilus, who's currently on 9 seconds of time penalty. His driver that was looking so very strong, as that's what Kresnos into the pit lane. Mr. Cookie up to P5 now. We'll go up to P4. 5 seconds from Rick, so he obviously hasn't gained any time. They came in at the exact same time, have left at the exact same time. Rick and Exilus can possibly try and work together at the moment. Exilus will give Cookie a hard time, I can wholeheartedly imagine. Try and give Rick every little bit of advantage he can. Oh dear, it's not looking good for Cookie, is it? We are halfway through this race. Well and truly over halfway through this race now. As Cookie and Jhawes both onto the soft tyre. Planning to run these to the end now. And with no safety cars by the looks of it in mind. Mr. Cookie's gone and put the fastest time in. Is closing down quite quickly on Exilus. But I think they are losing time as a whole. It's what Jhawes goes across 109.997, Mr. Cookie 109.664. 0.3 of a second split them, and currently it's 6.3 tenths. So what's that? 3 times by 6 and 1, 18, 19 laps needed. It's not enough laps. He hasn't got enough time to only gain that much time per lap, and still even just level with Jhawes, as Jackalacko is now back to being the leader of the race. And all the time she's broken. This is such a funny ending. This is everything slowly breaks and deteriorates. It's quite funny. Yeah, I'd say, oh yeah, it's really close. Currently, absolutely no movement on some of these drivers. Cookie, though, is right on the back of Exilus. It will be wanting to get past Sharpish, but there's been such a huge discrepancy between Exilus and Rick's speed. As there you go, they all slot themselves back into the correct place. Cookie with DRS swoops past Exilus, who dives to the pit lane, so that's nothing too much to worry about for him. If anything, it's just going to be a nice little DRS boost into turn 1, a little bit faster down that main straight than he's been before. That's not looking good on the gap to leader, is it? 6.1. So he is slightly gaining slowly, really rather slowly, which is kind of the worrying thing. It just doesn't look close. Sorry. My apologies. It just doesn't look fast enough. He needs a safety car at this point. A safety car needs to happen. Where's the nearest Williams? Aramalef! How you doing, Aramalef? Hope you're doing well. Don't know whether you're listening to this, but if you fancy doing a Nicholas Latifi, you have my permission. You might get penalised for it, but you have my permission. Of course, because we want... Although, as much as we want unscripted chaos, if it needs to be scripted, it needs to be scripted. Well, that's life. So I think that must be just a coal pillar. Yeah, in between Rick and Cookie. So he's a back marker. So nothing too much to worry about there. 6 seconds gap between Cookie and Jhawes. You've got to remember as well, Cookie's got a 5-second time penalty. And I think if it wasn't the 6-second gap between them, that 5-second time penalty kills it. Because Jhawes will race perfectly. Because he will just not want to pick up a penalty. He'll be like, I don't care if I lose a tenth of a second. I'm not picking up a penalty. Because you have to lose a lot of tenths of a second per lap. You have to lose that for 50 laps straight before you lose 5 seconds. So it's wholeheartedly worth it, I think, in his books. Just dialing it back just to save the possibility of a penalty. And he's doing so really well at the moment. He's really doing well. But yeah, quiet on track. Incredibly quiet. Please, please give me interest. Give me chaos. Give me utter, utter, utter madness. I mean, look at those gap delta times. There's one less than a second, and there's not even less than a second anymore. Come on. Come on, boys. It's the last race of the season. Jimmy! Hi! Where have you been? We've been worried sick. Why haven't you shown up until now? Have you been asleep? We were very scared, Jimmy. Don't scare us like that, please. Thank you. Ooh. I thought something terrible just happened there. It was Amalef getting on the grass. I'd say that's closing down a little bit. Rick's gained, what, 0.2 of a second. We're on lap 28 of 36. My favourite glass, I've just realised, is beginning to peel all of the little stickers on it. Which is, I'm so sad. Sorry for... Blame my mother, she turned my alarm off so I slept past PRL. Jimmy's mum, what are you doing? What are you doing, Jimmy's mum? Can't believe it. Jackalacco's being lapped for the second time, ladies and gentlemen. It's not... Come on, Jimmy, calm down now. It's alright. It's alright. We were sad that you weren't here, but the fact you're here now, it's alright. It's alright. This keeps happening, and I'm like, sorry if I just disappear for multiple seconds. It's because I'm like reading something. I'm just trying to pass the time. Yeah. It's not exactly it's not even an excuse. Apparently F1 is ruining my mind according to them. Typical old people stuff. Cargo Neom. How bad can that be for the brain? Like, rest assured, there's a lot worse things that rot people's brains. Cargo Neom is certainly not one of them. I refuse to believe it is. Because, what? What do? We do this for fun. We do this to be competitive. We do it because it's interesting and you have to dictate multiple different things. You know, they're having to battle strategy and setups and management and this and that and the other and actually make a goddamn pass every now and then. Like, it's difficult. Yeah. Like, you're genuinely actually having to put in quite a lot of mental power. It's not ruining your brain, it's developing it, it's growing it. My reaction times are like superhuman because of F1. Because I've gotten so good at going straight when the lights go out. Got yellow flags? Nope. F1 does ruin brains, I can confirm. Look at Nikita Mazepin. Yeah, Nikita Mazepin wasn't exactly the brightest spark before we got into F1, so what difference does it make? To be fair, not many kids which have dads with that much money have the brightest spark in them. Because they're pampered. Oh, Banks, sorry. I just love it when the interval... I'm sorry, the closest interval is Rick. It's actually Rick at 1.6 seconds. Oh, as of right now, it hasn't been quite the... I've DM'd Jhawes apologising, but I am just annoyed. So we were making... like in the chat, they were yapping at me because I took a while to join. Oh, he's less than a second. Ooh, bit of DRS. This could make things a bit more interesting. Couple of laps of fighting. You never know. Cookie can get involved if they get fighting sharpish. Maybe at the end of next lap. I mean, Jhawes won't mind losing the position. Obviously, he'll want to do it on a win, but if he has to take P2, I don't think he's going to be majorly concerned. His only worry will be if he fights Rick, that allows Mr Cookie in on the battle. If he fights Rick, he could get spun out. If he fights Rick, you know, something else bad can happen. Just losing the place is like the best of the worst. Like, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So I think Jhawes will be keeping that in mind, sort of as he goes through these last final few laps. Extra cautious. If Rick does try and put a half decent fight on, I genuinely do think Jhawes will just give the position up, because he's in a position where he's so comfortable. He's got 9 seconds on Mr Cookie. Is it really worth fighting just for the win? I don't think so. I think it's a much better decision to only... If we've lost construction, that is all my fault. Well, you have Rick and Excelist, and they're doing an alright job at the moment, actually. P2 and P6. So, obviously, Excelist needs to deal with these penalties first, but I don't think he actually loses a position by the looks of it, considering the fact that the cars behind him also do have quite a lot. Who got pole? Saratel. Who's got fastest lap at the moment? That's not the one I want. Excellent. So McLaren have got fastest lap. And yeah, Saratel got pole. Yeah, he did. Definitely. Well, Rick's currently sort of just sat behind, like he's waiting for his moment, and yet he's catching up through the straights. He's just not going for it. He's putting the pressure on. And I think he's just scaring Jhawes. He knows that this will be terrifying Jhawes right now. We're on that 34-36, so we will cross the start-finish line just 2 more times. One of which we will... No, we crossed the start-finish line 3 more times. Of which 2 we still have into turn 1. So, two turn 1 opportunities for Rick to make a move. Can he take home a win today? I'm not too sure. Here we go. He's going to go for it. I wholeheartedly imagine he's got a pretty decent run. He is now closing down. He's got a lot in his overtake. He's not going to use any of it. And he's going to stay behind. He elects not to make a move. Is Rick staying behind on purpose? I'm not too sure. He's getting so close, and he's backing out a little early into every corner. He could definitely push it more. Mr. Cookie will be saying, go for that move, go for that move. Dive bomb him. And Rick's just holding back. I think he'll probably go for it next lap. I mean, next lap he's got to. He's got to go for it next lap. It's the final opportunity. It's going to be the final chance that he gets to win this race. Take it from Jhawes, take a bit of his momentum, but I'm not sure how much of that momentum really is he going to lose. I don't think it's not all that much, because he is going to walk home with the championship today as it currently stands. Rick just so close. 0.3 of a second running out. Does lose a tiny little bit of time. Is losing time actually before beginning to gain it. Once DRS is open, is he now going to go for a move? He's not turning ERS on, is he? Had a look. That showed a much larger sign of aggression than we've seen at any other point. And there we go. ERS wholeheartedly in use with Rick at the moment. But has he left too late? He's going to go for the move down the inside here at turn 4. They run side by side. Jhawes comes out. He rounds out and he stays in second place. I doubt he's going to go much back for the move. He knows it's risky through this section of the track. Yeah, he holds his position at the moment. He knows he's got this race under laps at the moment. He might not pick up the win today, but Rick will steal the show with an absolutely phenomenal move there into turn 4, something we've seen quite a few times over the course of today's race. Well, he's put on a very good performance, hasn't he? Climbing up through quite a few positions, actually. I think Rick is one of the most upped positions. Yeah, he is up 4 places. Only a few drivers matching that up 4, and Aramlev being the only one to beat it on up 6. So congratulations to Rick with an absolutely phenomenal race win. But we have to hand it to this man. He's the Ferrari. He is Jhawes. And he wins. No, he hasn't. He's won the World Championship, though. There we go. Jhawes, ladies and gentlemen, is indeed your World Champion. And what a stellar performance it has indeed been. Jhawes has soared through the pack. And there we go. Jhawes, ladies and gentlemen, the Ferrari driver, comes home in Brazil with a very happy celebration run. Rick thinks he won. Rick won. And Jhawes comes in P2 in the end. Forza Ferrari, Forza Jhawes. And I think it was almost decided from about lap 3. He's done an amazing job to keep the nerves and just keep comfortable throughout the entirety of the race. And yeah, well done to the man. Rick picking up driver of the day as well with that win. And it's going to be a little bit of a quiet win for Rick because there is just one man in particular. He's smiling there on the left-hand side. He knows he's won the championship here today. And there we go. Rick VE17 wins for the McLaren Formula 1 team, but it's P2. It's the Englishman, even though he's dressed up as a Spaniard. Mr Jhawes, who wins in Ferrari. Mr Cookie P3 for Mercedes. J Thompson P4 for Williams. Kresnos P5 for AlphaTauri. Excellence P6 for McLaren. Hazard P7 for Haas. Daedric P8 for Mercedes. Aaron F P9 for Williams. Arhenton P10 for Alfa Romeo. Jacalaco P11 for Aston Martin. Just a call below P12 for AlphaTauri. F1ology P13 for Alpine. Saratel P14 for Alfa Romeo. And Valley P15 for Haas. And with that, we will be back in just a moment's time for some post-race interviews and a little chat with our world champion. Hello and welcome back all. Here we go. Let's get started with some interviews. We're going to do them in a slightly different order. In fact, first, we're going to listen to our race winner, Rick. Congratulations on the race win. I'm so sorry. I'm not picking up any audio for you. I can hear you, but the stream can't, which is kind of annoying. Um, Hang on a minute. Let me just try this. Might get a slight bit of reverb, but just try talking now.
Okay. Any better?
No,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
you can hear me through my mic. So if OBS has decided to start playing up, we'll go through that route then. So it was an impressive performance. But yeah, talk us through it.
Yeah. As I said, the tires really made me work for it. Being on the a compound lower or harder, I should say. Um, so I just had to wait until the tires were dropping in the end for Jhawes. And as I said again, good to be back and good to win the race on my return.
Yeah, it must be nice to be able to pick up a race win on a return as well. But talk us through those final laps of racing. I know you got close up to J Horse quite quickly, but sort of waited right until the very last moment to make a move. Was that intentional, or were you just not sure about the sort of laps prior?
Well, until the last three laps, from like lap 27 to 33, I was having to save fuel, so I was just waiting and waiting. So that was at a good stage where I could just go full speed and attack Jails. I did wait for a few times, but after like lap 34, when I realized it was gonna have to be the final lap because of obviously Joe was maybe coming back at me on the last lap at the final straight. Um, Obviously, we've seen that in real life, and obviously plenty of times in the game as well. Uh, Here at this track.
Yeah, well, it somehow managed to work out for you. Fair play and well done on the race win. Shall we get your three-word race roundup?
Um, a lot, very much stress.
Sounds about right. Congratulations on the win,
Thank you.
on your return, and it's nice to have you back, even if it is for the last race of the season. Alrighty, now we're going to talk to P3 and the man who will finish P2 in the championship this season, Mr Cookie. It's not quite the result we're looking for, was it?
First, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh, Qualifying didn't really go that well. Started, I think, I really back, so I validated my first run and then got the second run in, but in the last run, validated by pretty much nothing. That lap would have told by about a couple thousandths. So, um, that's the start of the race, really. Lap one, my gain was going all. I make my way back up again, and then massive crash happened ahead of me. I think Saratel, also a couple of corners beforehand, just pretty much went down to about P8, and then he went pretty much even. And I think as the next list, they crashed going to turn 5. So not, not really the race I was looking.
Yeah, it was pretty much a race of recovery for you, wasn't it? I mean, you were getting into sort of a position where you were pretty much lapping at the same kind of speed as both sort of J Horse and Rick. Do you think that had those incidents not happened sort of earlier on in the race, you could have been in with a good fight?
Definitely. It's really annoying if you've seen any of the clips, but like if you go a little bit further up, that pretty clear to see what happened, and it's in the volume still on, but it's pretty clear to see what happened. Went side by side with Sarah Tell, cuts me off. Just a massive crash ahead of me I can't avoid. And losing me a bit more than 6 seconds, I think, which is annoying because the gap I had to Jhawes at the end was about 5. So yeah, I feel like I definitely could have had a championship. Rick could have maybe got P1, I got P2, I got P3, but yeah, just it's not very fun when all that type of thing happens and pretty much we're in the first couple of laps and he practiced that so many like bit of anticipation. Yeah, it gets ruined. Bit of a shame.
Yeah, I mean, still, we'll try and look on a bright side. It's still P2 in the championship. A valiant effort, nevertheless. Are you, bar maybe this race, still happy with how the season turned out in regards to results?
I don't know. I mean, a couple of the races I've been doing pretty decently, and then others just, yeah, I'm not very happy. Something like Spa could have had a bit of a better result there. Fire especially as well. Jeddah, even if there were still podiums like Spa and Jeddah as well, it's like crucial moment where Air Horse kind of isn't much in the fight, and I still don't capitalize as much. So yeah, I'm just quite gutted really because I so many laps and then get to the first couple laps, and versus when I carry on with the whole race, I know I have the pace. I may arguably have slightly better pace even, and then yeah, just can't make it back up. You kind of know it's over already before you even start trying to come back. Yeah.
Yeah, well, commiserations. Shall we get your 3-word race roundup and let you be in peace?
I don't really have anything to really say. Congratulations, J Horse. I think you drove really well, even with like DNF's spark, like genuine. Other than that, well, so yeah, great job.
Thank you. And, well, even if it wasn't quite the result you were looking for today, it was a nice P3 nevertheless. Congratulations on the podium, and commiserations for the title championship. Thank you, Mr. Cookie. Right. Well, I think it's now time to turn the emotions around a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion this season. I feel like I've had this conversation before. J Horse, how are we feeling?
Good, mate. I'm feeling good. First of all, congratulations to Rick. He was fantastic. It was really good to fight with him again. Glad to have him back. And obviously, commiserations to Cookie. Sounds like he was not through any fault of his own, kind of denied a chance to fight, which is a real shame. But he's been fantastic all season, and I'm sure he'll come back next season, and he'll be well in the fight again. So I'm looking forward to it all over again. He's been brilliant. Pleasure to fight with. I can't praise him enough. So I wouldn't be too down on himself because he had amazing pace today and all season. So yeah, proud of him and looking forward to many more in the future.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about this race in particular. It was a pretty comfortable race for you for the entirety of the time, right up until the very last couple of laps. Talk us through that.
Yeah, well, Rick last stint had a better pace. I think at the start, Saratel had, I don't know what level wings he had on, but he was an absolute boat down the straights. And he was so quick through the corners and then was really holding me up on the straights. And I think I lost about 2 or 3 seconds that I probably would have needed maybe to keep Rick out of DRS, but even then, maybe not. Other than that, that last stint, I knew, obviously I saw that Cookie was about 6 seconds back, and I saw that gap was pretty stable on the medium stint. I think it remained at pretty much around 6 seconds. So I knew I had the pace, and in the last stint I was kind of just taking it relatively easy. Not easy enough that I probably could have won, but just not going for any risks. I think as soon as Rick got past me, I backed out pretty quickly, and I'd rather take the championship than the win. But yeah, really good. Sounds like my race was made a lot easier than Mr Cookie's, which obviously is nice for me. Maybe a little less stressful, but yeah, I'm glad I managed to get that P2 in qualifying in the end, because it really took me out of trouble. So yeah, good.
Yeah, I mean, after a season where it looks like it was gonna be sort of Cookie's way, he led the championship from race 5 up until the end of race 9, where you guys were tied on points. I know throughout that season, I remember back in race 8, we were talking about how it could really go either way, but at some points, how much confidence did you have that you'd end up winning the championship?
I think at the start I was fairly confident, and then I just had a few bad races in a row. I think I remember Silverstone, I was okay, but then I picked up a 5 seconds and that put me down a few places. Then obviously Belgium I DNF'd, and I think Singapore I was pretty rubbish as well. So a couple of those races I thought maybe the gap's too big, and obviously after that Austria disconnect as well, which cost me about 8 points. That definitely didn't help. But yeah, coming into the last round I was fairly confident. I think I went a little bit stable on the setup, maybe didn't quite have the pace that I wanted. But in the end it worked out because I didn't make any mistakes, and here we are. I am excited, by the way. I'm just
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you've come in, you've taken the championship in your own league. Is it, out of all of the championships that you've won in the past, is it nice to pick one up in your own league?
Yeah, definitely. It's really nice, actually. It's the first championship I've ever had that I've had a fight for, which is really nice, and I really enjoyed it because it brings out emotion, and I've spent the whole day thinking about this, and it's been lovely. It's been a lovely season. Been a pleasure to fight with everyone in this league, and I'm really excited for what we can do in the next couple of seasons, because it can only go up from here. We've got a really good bunch of lads, really good bunch of admins, really good bunch of stewards, and obviously we have you, which is amazing. So yeah, massive thanks to you for coming in kind of last minute and actually making this season what it is, because without you and without the streams, it's not the same narrative. So massive thanks to you, mate. You've been a legend.
Thank you. You're all too kind. Should we round it out with a 3-word season roundup for our world champion?
Oh God. On to season 3.
On to season 3. Yeah, that's fine by me. One last little thing. Do you have an alcoholic drink and a shoe? Because
for fuck's sake, I forgot about this. Oh no. I have neither.
Oh no.
But I can. If it's you hearing me on stream do a shoey, is that enough?
I think that's acceptable.
Yeah, all right.
That's acceptable.
Give me 2 secs and to find a shoe that I hate.
Just was. I was about to say, I think you forgot. Did you put the pizza in the oven just in case?
No, I didn't even like read. Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm hearing alcoholic drink and.
Yeah.
Yep, I've felt a lot.
I know Jhawes loves to play this game on tier 2. What is he drinking? What are our predictions for what he's going to have as his showy.
That is very tough. 'Cause I don't know if he's going to go all out or not.
Oh, he's back.
Right, this is quality content, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
What choice of drink have we got?
I've gone for a Korev lager.
Okay. And what shoe have we gone for?
I've got my work shoe.
Oh.
So which I've got to use tomorrow. So it's the only shoe I can grab. But I'm committing to it apparently. So it's just going to be you listening to me silently golfing, is it?
Yeah. Apparently so.
All right.
I mean,
Right,
I can cut to the Discord voice chat if I can cut to it being the screen. If we want to go down that route.
I am not showing myself doing a showy.
Oh.
But you can hear me if you want. This isn't what you had in mind when this was proposed, was it?
I genuinely had nothing in mind. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was funny, and I can't believe we completely forgot about it.
It's only 2
Well,
weeks
you
ago.
didn't clearly. Only 2 weeks ago, I know. Right, go on then. Yeah, actually, give him the championship, and then he can do the.
I've got a Ricardo hat
For
as
the
well.
content.
I could use that.
There you go. I mean, come on. I'm really letting the team down here, aren't I?
You can
Should
do
we
it as
replay
well
next
if you
week?
really want.
Yeah, we'll do it together. I feel like we both deserve it.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Boo!
Yeah, lovely. That's disgusting.
Oh,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Oh, I can't believe that's happened. Carter?
well,
That's quite something. Fair play to our brand new PRL season champion, Mr Jhawes. Congratulations on the championship, and
Thank you,
I
mate. Thank
fear your foot tomorrow. Thank you all, guys. We'll be seeing you. Oh, Jhawes, one other thing. Do we have any sneak
Go on.
previews about season 3?
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, we are going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, starting on the 4th of January, which is 2 weeks away, so quite a quick turnaround. We're going to try and get everything done really soon, so that there's no one has to work or look at their phone over Christmas and New Year's, because that's the last thing we want to be thinking about. So yeah, if you haven't heard, now you know. Everything will come out soon, so keep your eyes peeled, and hopefully next season will be as good as this one is, because we've still got Tier 2 tomorrow, which is a title fight as well, so it's not over yet.
Yeah. Oh no, I've just been told in the chat by our Henson that Jimmy's being relegated to Tier 2.
Jimmy is being relegated to Tier 2,
No.
unfortunately. Yeah,
Oh,
he's had a tough season, bless him, and we think we think it's better for him if he goes back and just regains his confidence and then comes back for the championship charge in season 4.
Yeah, fair enough. Jimmy, world champion, season 4. I like that idea.
That's going to
Righty.
happen.
And I think that just about ends out this season. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all have enjoyed so much. I think all the drivers can sit back and say that it's been a really close fought season across the board. There's been some interesting races. There's been some boring ones too, but that always comes with it. But nevertheless, the support and the sheer driving capability of all the drivers has made this such an amazing season. I've been your host, the Casteristics. Thank you all for watching. Good night.